Now I can put a crescent wrench on here and bend it, or I can go over to my vise and do it more precisionally. Because my vise might not move when I tighten it down. So I have a good reference point to where I'm at. If you do it by hand, the crescent wrench is just going to bend a little corner. You won't be exactly sure where you're at. Looks like my vise is the correct width. It's close enough. Okay, so we had too much of a gap, so I need to come toward me. So right now I look down on this, I am flush about to here. So if I'm flush with the vise, I should be close. Needs more oomph. I'm gonna get some more oomph tool. Does anybody know what an oomph tool is? Oh, right here. Oomph, and moved. Some more oomph. Big strong little bracket. Yeah. Needs more oomph than that. So let's go get our plate and see how close we are. Before I start wailing on it really hard, let's see how close we are. I think we're pretty close. I'm pushing flat on here, it's not lifting up over here. That's a good sign. So a little bit more on the one side here. So this one here is a little bit more on this side. This side here feels good. This side here's got a little bit of a gap. This one here needs to be bent more on this side. So we'll give it a little more effort. One more little love tap on that side. Made any difference? Not really. Maybe it's too much. I don't know. Yep. Yeah. Try to bolt it back in and see how it looks. It looks like it might not be flat. Hard to believe, really hard to believe. A mixture of aftermarket Taiwan parts do not fit. I'm totally shocked by that. Totally, 100%. Okay, let's try this again. Got you. Tricky, try two at a time. Probably will not work, but we'll try it. Rattling there. One of the nuts, two of the nuts. both fingers to get the nut started. It's fun to do. One. The other bolt is in there, so I'm going to try to hook it up too. Getting fingers in there is not as easy though. Blind leading the blind, but everybody's going to get it right. I think we're on there. Yep. Okay, let's see what we get. A couple bolts in there so it's lined up. Tight. Appears now it sits like it's supposed to. That'd be a plus in my book. Okay, let's see if we can put it together. Let's come through the right side. Have more clearance from the right side. And I did put it on backwards. Hey dumbass, why is it on backwards? Bracket goes to the rear, not the front. Oops. Dumbass at work. Think the access would be easier, don't you? Nope. It's still hard to get in there. It might be slightly easier, but not by much. Again. Appears to be sitting flat again. This time it's to the rear. We hitting on whatever it was that moved. Okay, it's in there. Now we're going to try to put our front bolts in there and see if it lines up at all. Let's see which ones we're using these. We're going to use a tall spacer this time in the front. They're already pretty nice. They're already pretty good right now. See, with this sitting on the frame, this sitting on the frame here, we have a nice gap. See, it's tight gap. Now this spacer here is not going to raise the front very much, but when you raise the back up, it's going to raise it way up and pinch this thing way forward like that. And see how we run? We don't have very much room there, do we? So if we had longer spacers, it would help us. So I might have to make these spacers a lot longer to raise it up equally. Because we can go up until we hit that bracket, but that bracket's not going to be, we can cut that off, we're not using that. And we can come up to here quite a bit higher because we got lots of room up here. Obviously there's plenty of room under here. We can raise this thing up way up higher. If we raise up higher, we get more clearances. So we might wind up doing that. Because right now, I think it's going to be the same problem. It's not going to fit very well. But we'll see. I'm going to try it out. That's why it's a mock-up. Whatever doesn't work the first time, we try again. Now the bolt right here is going to be a limitation on how you go. We're pretty much maxed out already in length. Let's just start trimming something away. Go to an Allen bolt, go to a 12-point bolt, something with more clearance. This is the maximum height I can go with a. I can probably put a washer under there. But that's about it. We don't have a lot of threads here, and the bolt's length is max. And the bolts, there's no room to go higher. That was our max height right there. Like I said, this is a little bit taller than what we had probably before. Okay, so I'm going to go on the other side and do the same thing. It's a lot easier to do without all the parts in the way. Light tension on that bolt. Come over here and do the same on this side. Light tension there. Adjustability side to side. Looks like it's almost all the way to left because I had to slot it out before. So pretty much all the way to left is centered, I bet. That's all the way to left. Yeah, we're pretty close. Probably come back a tick right there. Alright, so just by sighting down the distance between here and here, this is from here to here, about a ½ inch or so, about a ½ inch or so, maybe 3/8, but it's pretty close. So the tank is centered. Our bracket's actually very well centered. Look at that, it's almost perfect centered there. It's straight up and down on both sides. Like it was made for it. Damn, Taiwan Teddy made a part that actually semi-works. Amazing. Now the other thing I can do that is I can take this bracket and cut it right here and move it up. And that'll give me my clearance I need there. See, I've got a good gap here. See, it's a little bit low in the back. See how it's tight here? It gets looser as you go up. So going up a little bit would actually help. But right now we are pulled down where it wants to be right now. You know, this is all flat right now. If you pull it up, you're going to put this into a bind condition here. So if you just take this and weld the snot out of it right here and weld it to the bike. I don't know if that would work or not. If you can get the transmission in and out and the oil tank in and out, that is an option, but it's not exactly the preferred way of doing things. But it gives us a nice fitment here because everything, this is where it wants to be here. We do have our gap in here. You know, everything looks good. So actually it would be really nice if we could just weld that sucker right there. But like I said, I don't know if I can get the transmission through that hole. But But there's one way to find out, is put the damn transmission through that hole and see if it fits. If it does, that is a very good option to weld that bracket on. Then I got to see if I can get the tank out. Now the tank sits on top of this, so I think the tank should be able to come in and out pretty easy. I don't think the tank would be a problem, so I'm pretty sure that would work. So that would definitely be a very, very strong option there, because everything else is going to make it fit worse. It actually looks pretty good where it is, I think. Alright, so let me see if we can get that transmission to go into that hole. If so, then that gives us some options. First I want to see if that nut fits on here. This nut here. It fits. It does not fit. I think the threads on here are bad. Okay, let me go work on this a little bit. I'll be back. I'm going to file on that a little bit, or I mean on the shaft. Try to make this fit. We'll be back.